All right, welcome everybody to Dear Mr. Fantasy NFL Week 10. I'm one of your hosts, Ben Metz, joined as always by Stephen J. And man, a lot of injury news. We got some guys coming back, a lot of stuff in flux here to get ready for NFL Week 10. I had a very large time. I ended up in Oxford, Mississippi again. Huge win for Ole Miss last night. I mean, awesome. Mr. Shea, how are you?
Doing fantastic. Week 10. Very excited. The Bucs play at 1 o'clock against the Washington football team. I'm about to head down to the Hoboken house right after the show. I'm excited. I mean, it's always nice to have when your team plays coming off a bye week because it's like, oh, I missed this so much. I'm back. I'm excited. And I love the board today. So very excited. Let's get into a bunch of these questions. Oh, yeah. Shout out Jeff Bodnery. Always reminds us. Appreciate it, Jeff. Like the stream. Please like the stream. It helps us out a ton. Get new exposure, stuff like that. So please like the stream. Let's get right into it. Shout out Bobby Walter, who also reminds us. All right, let's start with Brad Allen. Need 2. Alex Collins, Antonio Gibson, Elijah Moore, your boy, Jamison Crowder. I think it's tough because Antonio Gibson's going against the Bucs, but like status-wise, he should be like a must-start guy. Alex Collins, I don't know if you saw this. Barstool Sports main handle just tweeted out a picture of Lambeau right now. So game time's supposed to be at 39 degrees. It is heavy snow there right now. A lot of snow accumulation. And then both kind of slot receivers for the Jets going against Buffalo. Kind of a tough matchup. This is a tough one. Mike White starting, though, which does make a difference. Mike White starting, I think, gives new life to the offense.
I like Elijah Moore with Mike White. They had a good chemistry kind of going.
Yeah. You know what? I think I'm going to rock with that line of things. So let's roll with Elijah Moore and Alex Collins, just because with the snow, they're going to run the ball more, even though Russ is back. Antonio Gibson is a really bad matchup today against the Bucs. They will throw the ball, so he could get some catches, but J.D. McKissick is the guy to watch out for they're stealing those catches. So let's roll with Collins and Moore.
Yeah, we're hopping right into it. Shay, I know one thing, Bucks, Antonio Brown back today, right?
No, he is out. So Antonio Brown and Gronk are out. We're going to stay with the injury news as it comes in. It is slowly rolling in right now. But Mincy, you can go.
Yeah, well, the Kyler Murray and DeAndre Hopkins both are game-time decisions in Arizona. I feel like they're going to be out, though, playing Carolina at home against a backup quarterback.
Yeah, the way Schefter worded that tweet was very weird. He said that like basically they're going to focus on Seattle next week, which is kind of taking Carolina lightly, which I don't like. And I mean, the Cardinals are in a race for the number 1 seed in the NFC, so I don't understand that as much. But as a DeAndre Hopkins and Kyler Murray manager, I don't love either of those plays today.
Yeah, I also want to mention while we're talking, I know we're going to do injuries as they come, but Alvin Kamara out for New Orleans today. I mean, it's a body count for New Orleans, who's even just out there at this point. If you're desperate, Mark Ingram's certainly going to get all the carries. I don't know how many points they're going to score.
He had, 4 catches last week? Kind of
surprised. He'll catch a bunch of balls today. So I think Ingram's a solid starter today just because of opportunity, but man, it's rough for New Orleans. Tough one in Tennessee today. But if they're going to win, it better be by the D.
Couple injury announcements from Rap Sheet. Ramondre Stevenson is active along with Trent Brown, the right tackle. They'll get him back. Jamal Williams out for the Lions, so DeAndre Swift more the load, which is big for DeAndre Swift owners. Dwayne Haskins is active for the first time. I believe he's going to be back up today, despite Ben Roethlisberger being out. Cam Newton is expected to be active, probably not play, but could be in a couple plays. James Robinson is going to play today as well. And then as I reported, AB and Gronk are going to be out for the Bucs.
Is Odell Beckham's trying to go tonight, right?
Tomorrow. So it looks like they're going to have him in as like a punt returner and then a couple plays. I mean, he doesn't know the playbook, so I wouldn't anticipate a ton. But with Robert Woods' injury, I mean, that kind of thrusts him to a much bigger role.
It does. No, he does sit in a spot. Now, I think Odell, I know he's been a nightmare and everything, but I think on that fast track in LA and that offense, getting out of that cold weather, I think we might see a little bounce back from him. I'm not putting him saying he's dead by any means. Our Sunday night football, we're about to get back to the questions. Want to mention our Sunday night football parlay with the FFF pod. I'm back in the Raiders. They lost as a road favorite last week. They're in a great bounce back spot against a struggling Chiefs team that I'm a big Mahomes guy. I just can't trust them. I mean, something's wrong there. But we've got the Raiders money line, Hunter Renfrow over 57.5 yards, and Patrick Mahomes under 288.5 is our FFF pod parlay, and that should be up any minute.
Another piece of news: he was going to be a game time decision. Chris Godwin is going to play.
Godwin's going to play.
Yes.
No, Chris Carson's announced out once again for Seattle at Green Bay. Russell Wilson back. Aaron Rodgers back off the COVID list to play in that Snow Bowl. Should be very, very interesting. From Grant and Guest, I've got a question that's Kenyon Drake or Antonio Gibson. I actually like Drake. And, Shay, he's a guy we always talk about, the zero RB strategy. He's not like the sexiest guy. Obviously, Josh Jacobs is there too. But he's going to catch you 4 or 5 balls. He's going to get you a few carries, and there should be some points in this Chiefs-Raiders game. So I'm going to go Kenyon Drake, especially if you're in a half-point or full-point PPR. If it's not PPR, Drake's whole value is attached to his receiving. Yeah,
absolutely. Where's our guy? Jeff Bodner is spamming the chat, but he's an active guy. Always tells people to upvote the stream. Jeff Bodner, let's go. Who should he start for his RB2? Javonte Williams, Ramondre Stevenson, or Mark Ingram. Love the show. So let's rule out Stevenson just because he is like kind of he was banged up. He is going to play today. But we got Javonte Williams going against Philly or Mark Ingram going against the Titans. This is a tough one because the Saints really have no options on offense. So Ingram should get the load, but Pookie Williams is hot, so I'm going to ride the Pookie Williams train. I like him a lot, Mincy. I can see you grimacing over there, so I can see.
No, I don't hate it. I don't hate it. No, I like Pookie Williams. He looked really good, man. Like you said, the way he breaks tackles is one of the best in the NFL. That's what he's known for in college football. Denver coming off their best effort of the year by far. I don't have a problem with that. Look, the Ingram thing, I love the opportunity, but the Saints also have Terran Armstead and Andrews Pete out on the O-line. So, I mean, it's a tough situation. It's if the Saints are if you like New Orleans today, you better hope they win 16-13.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna go with here's a really tough one from Andy. Cordarrelle Patterson or Debo into full PPR. Man, it's a first world problem. But Shay, I'll admit it. You said it last week. I kind of hated on Cordarrelle, and then he had that 74-yard catch to beat my Saints in OT. Cordarrelle's also playing what should be a high-scoring matchup in Dallas. The over-under is 54. He's playing on the fast track. I'm going with Cordarrelle here.
Yeah, Debo banged up. I mean, he didn't have a good game last week. I know his numbers-wise are great. Big divisional game against the Rams on Monday night. Is he going to draw Jalen Ramsey? I know hasn't been following, but essentially been all over the field. You got to go Cordarrelle. He's just so consistent. All right, let's go. TB12 Goat Man, Eli Mitchell or Josh Jacobs, I assume, full point PPR. I love Josh Jacobs tonight against the Chiefs. I think the Raiders are going to outright beat the Chiefs. Josh Jacobs has been very consistent when he's been in the lineup, scoring a touchdown in most of his games and been a double-digit guy, I think, in every game but one. So I'm going to roll with Josh Jacobs here. I love him tonight.
Standard scoring, we've got Tyler Lockett or Deontay Johnson. Big Ben is out.
From Eric Eckstein.
My bad. I'm sorry. I forgot to say that. We're going with Lockett here, even in the snow, because Lockett and Russell Wilson have that chemistry that you just can't beat it. And Deontay Johnson's playing with a backup quarterback today. So I'm going with Lockett here. Even though it's standard scoring does hurt, Lockett is more of a PPR guy, but I'm still rolling with
Lockett. Not that it was anything, but Zach Wilson officially inactive today. We knew Mike White was starting. Okay. From Bobby Walter, Flex PPR, Van Jefferson or Alex Collins? Thanks. Love the stream. Van Jefferson, interesting because he's been elevated, right? Like, even though Odell Beckham Jr. has come in, he doesn't know the playbook, and Robert Woods just got hurt. Robert Woods probably going to be out for the year. So this elevates him, Van Jefferson, essentially to that Robert Woods role. That being said, Alex Collins today, especially in the snow, but it's PPR. It was a tough one. Yeah, I'm actually going to roll Van Jefferson with this divisional matchup. I think on Monday night against San Francisco, I think they're going to score a ton of points. I like Van Jefferson. Cooper Kupp's going to demand a lot of attention with Robert Woods out. I think Van Jefferson could be the big-time beneficiary of that.
I like Van Jefferson a lot, too. He's a really good route runner.
I
really like the way
that is Sean Jefferson, the receivers coach for the Jets.
Yep. Yeah. And he, very good at the University of Florida. All right. Mike Williams or DJ Moore, full PPR. I'm going Mike Williams here. This is from Olive Harambe. I'm going Mike Williams here. DJ Moore had the great start to the year, but this Carolina offense has gone in the toilet the last few weeks. And Darnold obviously is out 4 weeks. They signed Cam Newton. They're going with PJ Walker today. I think Mike Williams here for sure. And also the Vikings, who are known for defense, they're playing a lot of shootouts this year. So I think this game could be a little wild.
My favorite bet of the day is kind of around this. You mentioned PJ Walker. His over-under in the Barstool Sportsbook to throw a touchdown is 0.5. Whenever I see that, it's almost an automatic take. I'm going to take PJ Walker over to throw 1 touchdown or more. And then Christian McCaffrey over rushing, over receiving, which are both very low. I think the receiving is like 38.5. Rushing is like 62.5. And to score a touchdown. You can get that for plus 650 now if you parlay it all together. I just tweeted out on my Twitter. If you're going to go ride with that.
I like McCaffrey on the fast track in Arizona today too. I feel like that's conducive to his game.
You are all about fast track.
I am. I think the dome game. I think it's a whole different game in the domes on the faster thing than when you're out in the cold weather on the grass. I believe that.
Crap. There was one question that I wanted to answer. This thing moves so fast, which is great. Here we go. Brendan Blackwell with D-Hop out. He's going to be a game down decision, probably out. Would you go Mecole Hardman, Laviska Shenault, or Hunter Henry, full point PPR? Let's rule out Hunter Henry. You should not start a tight end. I know he's been kind of hot. If you look at his targets and his catches, they have all been – he's touchdown dependent. If he doesn't catch a touchdown, he's worthless. He's
the Robert Tonyan of this year.
Yes. He caught, I think, against the Chargers, like 1 catch, 33 yards. That's it. No, Hunter Henry, I don't think he's even like a very good starter for a tight end. Mecole Hardman or Laviska Shenault, let's spin it. So of that group, I'm going to go Hardman. But one guy that I would recommend is Jonathan Agnew. So he is who Laviska Shenault should be. If you look at the carries that they give him, which is 1 or 2 a game, and just the targets and catches, he is the guy in Jacksonville that is playing the Laviska Shenault role, even though Laviska Shenault is still healthy. They're using Shenault way too much as just like a number 2 receiver. Go with Jonathan Agnew. He's only owned in about 10% of leagues. I would roll with him today of those 3 guys. If you want to stick with those, I would go Mecole Hardman, though.
From Spice Track, he wants a full point PPR. He's got Hunter Renfrow, Devontae Smith, or Michael Carter for his flex. And I'm going with Hunter Renfrow here because in full PPR, the thing with Renfrow, he is consistent as heck. And there's a lot to be said for a guy that is going to get 6 for 72 every week and get you 13 points. And since Henry Ruggs has been out, he's getting even more of a target share. His over-under is 57.5 yards. I'm on the over in that tonight. And I just really like his consistency. I mean, he's got a good chemistry with Carr. He's going to get the targets. Yeah, he may not have any 50-yard touchdowns, but he's a steady guy. And if you need that 10 to 15 points, he's great for it. Devontae Smith could be a tough matchup in Denver. I know Devontae's having a decent year, but it's just so hard to rely on that Jalen Hurts and now the passing game. Denver's defense played really well against Dak Prescott last week. And I know Carter's been coming on, but tough matchup against the Bills.
I'll go with Joey G-Men. Need 1. Devin Singletary, Marvin Jones, or J.D. McKissick. Half-point PPR. Love the show. Thank you. I'm assuming this is Joey Langone. I'm just kidding. It's not definitely not Joey Langone. But need 1. So Devin Singletary against the Jets. He's been like kind of a trendy play that I've seen. I don't love him. Zach Moss is back from the concussion. Marvin Jones has been pretty hit or miss. Like he has some really good games, but he also has some total stinkers. J.D. McKissick. So I'm going to roll J.D. McKissick. Here's why. The Bucs have the number 1 run defense in football. They've had it for the past 2 years. They're going to have to throw the ball a lot, both for game situation and just because they're not going to be able to run the ball. I don't think Antonio Gibson is the best start today. He does have a lot of receiving skills, but J.D. McKissick, if you look at the game logs the past couple weeks, is catching 4, 6, 8 balls for 60+ yards at half-point PPR. That puts you at 8 total points without any of the rushing yards. Go with J.D. McKissick today. He should get you right around double-digit points. If he scores, even bonus. Even more of a bonus, he'll probably be in the teens.
Well, from what happened last night, great name because a lot of things happened last night. Knox from Mississippi. Stop me if you've heard this before, but best show in the game. I'm in a pickle if Kyler Murray doesn't play. Should I pick up Mason Rudolph at home against Detroit, Teddy Bridgewater at home against Philly, Mac Jones at home against Cleveland or Colt McCoy at home against Carolina. Don't like McCoy against Carolina. That's not the best matchup. I actually lean Bridgewater here at home against Philly. I don't think Philly's defense is anything too special this year, and I do like Denver's weapons. Rudolph, I know he's got a good matchup against Detroit, but when he's played, I just haven't. That Pittsburgh offense can be out of sync. I feel like this could be a big Najee Harris day. Lean on the running game, and so that's the way I'm going to lean with Bridgewater. Mac Jones against Cleveland's also an option. I'm between Bridgewater or Jones, but I think I like Bridgewater more. I'm actually going to ask your opinion on this, Shay. What do you think?
Yeah, I think Bridgewater is the safest guy. He's had some big-time peaks and valleys. Like, he's had some 3-touchdown games. He's had some 1-touchdown games. Coming off of one of his best games, I would expect him to kind of level off a little bit. But compared to the others, he's just the safest guy. So I'm going to roll with Teddy Bridgewater. He should get you in like the mid-teens, assuming standard scoring.
There you go.
All right, let's go with Butler 14, full point PPR. Pick one: DeAndre Swift, Mark Ingram, Eli Mitchell, Darrell Williams. I think it's a no-brainer. DeAndre Swift. I mean, he's a top 10, 12 running back right now. Full point PPR. He does a lot of his work through the passing game.
And Jamal Williams is out.
Yeah, and Jamal Williams is out. So I love DeAndre Swift. I think he's going to have a huge game against Pittsburgh. DeAndre Williams, no doubt.
Yeah, I do like a lot Eli Mitchell too, though, in that running game.
Yep.
All right, next up, let's go with Elijah from Alex. Elijah Moore, LaVisca Chenault, or Tyler Johnson, half-point PPR. I'm going Elijah Moore. I think he's coming on, and I know Mike White's got a small sample size, but it's looked pretty damn good in that sample size. He had the win against the Bengals. He looked really good against the Colts before he got hurt, and Elijah Moore and him seem like they have a good chemistry, so I'm riding it.
Okay. Yeah, I could dig that. All right.
As I'm ripping off my wristband from the bar last night as we speak.
I mean, come on, dude. That's an automatic as soon as you get home.
Yeah,
Do you remember? Were you here when Mantis was here? No, right?
No, I came in after him.
So he had one of those things on for I think over a year, which is just at that point that's pretty.
That's aggressive. That's aggressive.
Yeah. All right, let's go with. Here's an interesting one: Billy Fisher, OBJ, or D-Hop. The answer is neither. So, yeah, DeAndre Hopkins. If he plays today, spoiler, I don't think he's going to be super effective. Like, hamstring injury, especially for a receiver, not good. He's not a guy who makes his living on speed, but still, it's going to be pretty debilitating. Colt McCoy might be a quarterback. DeAndre Hopkins is an absolute sit today. Doesn't matter what his status is, if he plays or if he doesn't. OBJ, if his name was James Johnson, he would not be rostered ever. He'd be 0% roster because he doesn't do anything. The fact that he is on the Rams now is good from a talent perspective. I think he can be a player, but he doesn't know the playbook yet. He just got there. I would expect his snap count to be under 20. I don't think there's any way they can keep him on the field for more than that, just because he hasn't thrown with Matt Stafford. I mean, I'm sure he was in practice or something this week, but he doesn't really have that rapport, and he doesn't know the plays. So I don't expect a big packet for him. So I would look to waivers, guys that I do like that could be available. AJ Green, who, again, with Colt McCoy, but, with DeAndre Hopkins out, Rondale Moore's banged up. I expect him to get a lot of targets. He's a pretty steady guy when he's in there. Jonathan Agnew is a guy who I mentioned before on the Jags. I would go other here. I don't think any of these guys are plays.
Okay. I'm getting a lot of questions on Dawson Knox, who's coming back, it looks like today. I just was curious, how do you feel? Just how do you feel about him in general? I'm seeing George Kittle.
I mean, when he was playing, he was a top 4 tight end. He definitely, they look to him around the red zone, which is very important for tight ends especially. So he's a guy that, if you have him rostered and, I'm assuming you're playing a backup tight end, I would start Dawson Knox over that tight end that you've been riding with.
Okay. I'm seeing a lot of questions on him here. So, you can go ahead and get this next one.
Okay. Let's go with, from Jack Fisher, love the show, PPR, Zach Ertz or Tyler Conklin from the Vikings. I think Tyler Conklin from the Vikings, the tight end, is an underrated guy. He's available. I don't know what percent of leagues right now. I would guess it's probably around half. He's a guy that's definitely startable. He's like a 40 to 60 yard a game guy. I would go with Tyler Conklin here. Ertz has been pretty good in Arizona since he's gotten there. He's still not in all the plays. And if Kyler's going to be out, Colt McCoy makes me a little bit more nervous for the passing game. I expect it to be lower. So I'd roll with Conklin in what I think is a pretty good matchup.
Matthew Kelly says Van Jefferson or Marquez Callaway, full point PPR. You want to go with Van Jefferson here.
Yes.
I'm a big, obviously I'm a big Saints fan, but right now it's hard to trust almost anything. And Van Jefferson with Robert Woods out and Odell Beckham just getting acclimated to it, he's sitting in a spot where he's kind of quietly emerging. Like I said, he's a good route runner. He's in a good offense. So I'm going Van Jefferson definitely over here right now. You can't trust anything with the Saints passing game right now.
All right, let's go with FW. Carson Wentz or Derek Carr? I actually answered this exact question in my DMs earlier. I'm sure it was from somebody else. I love the Raiders tonight, and I love Derek Carr. It's from someone named F_W, Marty. I love the Raiders, and I love Derek Carr tonight. That being said, Carson Wentz is Mr. Consistency in fantasy. He is my favorite bet of the week is Carson Wentz over under 1.5 touchdowns. He's going to get it. He is a safe, steady play. My recommendation for you would be Carson Wentz, but, and this is a but, if you are projected to lose by 10 points or more in Yahoo or ESPN or whatever you're doing, I think Derek Carr is the home run swing here. So he's a guy who could have like 400 yards and 3 touchdowns tonight. Do I think it'll happen? No, but I think he is a big time swing for the fence. It could also be a low scoring division game. So I think you're going to kind of, it's a little bit more dangerous. Carson Wentz, absolutely the safer play and would be my recommendation. If you're trying to hit a home run and you're projected to lose, Derek Carr could be an option.
Nick, oh wow, we got a Nick Tarani question. Is it Ernest Johnson or CeeDee Lamb full point PPR? Obviously, Ernest Johnson is going to be in there and part of the rotation today, but I still am going with CeeDee Lamb. I can't bench him at home against Atlanta.
It's such a great matchup. Yeah. I mean, the over-under started this weekend at 52. It's at 55 now. Like,
this is – you also, in theory, think Dallas had that awful game last week with Dak coming off the calf injury. In theory, this should be a bounce-back effort, a serious game for Dallas after that, you would think.
Yeah. One bet that I actually saw in the boost section of the Barstool Sportsbook app, which is in the exclusive section. There's a boost section that's not necessarily affiliated with Barstool Talent. It was the 3 guys that they have projected at 2.5 touchdowns for all of them to throw 2 touchdowns or more. So that's Tom Brady, Josh Allen, Dak Prescott. It's at plus 180 right now. So I just hammered that. I think that's an awesome bet. All right, let's go with from Slide, 16 team deep half point PPR. Mike Davis, Randall Cobb, Donovan, the People's Champ Jones. Pick 2. I love these deep league questions because they're in the weeds. They're on the bottom. They are the silt of the river of fantasy football, and I live there. All right, so Mike Davis, not a great football player, but fantasy-wise, especially in a high-scoring contest, he catches more balls than you'd expect, especially for a running back that's in kind of a committee. He does get some touches around the goal line sometimes, so I think he is a definite play. Peoples Jones is a real swing and miss, or like a home run swing, because he's either going to catch a deep ball for a touchdown or he's going to do nothing. So I'm going to go with Randall Cobb there. In the snow, Aaron Rodgers is going to go to guys he trusts. He does go to Cobb despite his size in the red zone. So I'm going to roll with Mike Davis and Randall Cobb. I love that question slide.
Lake Boy asking a question: Jalen Hurts at Denver or Justin Herbert at home against Minnesota? I'm rolling with Herbert here. Like I said, Hurts, good fantasy quarterback. I get all that, but at Denver's a sticky matchup. Over-under's high in that Vikings-Chargers game. I believe it's like 52.5, 53. I think there's potential for that game to get wild. So I'm going to go with Herbert.
Shout out to everyone commenting. We're getting a ton of comments. I want to get to as many of these as possible. We have to cut out a little bit early today in the next 5 or so minutes, but I want to get to as many as possible. Thank you guys all for coming and asking questions. We'll get to as many as possible. Riley Atkinson, half-point PPR. Pat Freiermuth with Rudolph or Noah Fant. Love the show, guys. So Noah Fant is back.
Yeah, I thought he was going to be out for the year, too.
Yeah, playing the Eagles today. It's an interesting question because Freiermuth with Big Ben has kind of become his like security blanket in the past, like a Heath Miller, someone like that. Now with Rudolph, that certainly gets downgraded in my mind, just because he's not as good of a passer. Not that Ben Roethlisberger at this point in his career is, the greatest show on turf, but it definitely downgrades him a bit for me. So I'm going to roll with Noah Fant here with Teddy Bridgewater. He's back. He's comfortable with him. I like that matchup.
I'm getting a question. It's off the screen. Okay, there it is. It's from oh gosh, the screen moves so fast. It's the love the show. Mark Ingram or Hunter Renfrow half-point PPR question. I lost the name. There it is. Alejandro Schwartz. This is a really close one here because
both your guys.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm answering it and kind of bringing the floor. Look, Ingram could get what else are they going to do today? I mean, Shay, you look at the Saints offense. I mean, I guess this needs to be the Taysom Hill game. Ingram, I mean, they're like dude, it's a freaking body count out there with Trevor Siemian.
Not good, yeah.
Yeah, it's not good. So Ingram's opportunity, I think I'm going to lean Ingram because I also think that he could catch a bunch of balls too because he has good receiving. So he's not usually a guy they go to because Kamara is such a good receiving back. But I like Renfrow a lot. But, I mean, I just feel like this could be a game where Ingram could hypothetically have 20 or 25 carries and 5 to 7 catches here. I just think the workload's too big. I would – another spot while I ask, do you agree or disagree?
Yeah, I could totally see Ingram being that guy. The catches last week was certainly encouraging. Love this. Seth Carter, my guy from the Che Hive, Deontay Johnson or Cole Beasley, full point PPR. The answer might surprise you because Deontay Johnson is just a target monster. But with Mason Rudolph, I think everyone in the Steelers offense, except maybe Najee Harris, gets downgraded quite a bit. So I'm going to roll with Cole Beasley. Cole Beasley, if I'm not mistaken, his line was 8 catches for 32 yards last week, which is a horrendous yards per catch. But that's 8 points. So you got to expect he's going to go up there. You got to expect he's going to go up from there. So I like Cole Beasley in PPR. I mean, he's just a target and catch monster. Short stuff, though.
Steven Munschauer has Tony Pollard or Jeremy McNichols, full point PPR. I'm actually going to go with Pollard here. I just, on the sole basis that I think Cowboys-Falcons is going to be higher scoring and Wild and Saints-Titans is not. And then, AP's in there for the Titans and McNichols' role feels a little muddy. Obviously, Pollard's the number 2. I mean, this isn't a great choice, but I still just think Pollard has more upside out of these two.
Yeah, it should be a shootout. All right, let's take our final 4 questions here. Half-point PPR, Jordan Howard or Brandon Ayuk from Billy C. Interesting question. So Jordan Howard is definitely on the comp, but so is Brandon Ayuk. This is a tough one because Howard has been pretty steady in the 60 to 75 yards and a touchdown the past 2 weeks. Denver does have a pretty good defense, so that could stifle him a bit. I like Brandon Ayuk just because he, again, is on the come-up kind of. Debo's banged up a little bit. I expect it to be a pretty high-scoring game against the Rams, so I'm going to roll with Brandon Ayuk.
Michael Coker, Derek Carr, Jimmy Garoppolo, or Mason Rudolph. I'm going Derek Carr just instantly.
Yes.
I don't even think it's a debate.
Jimmy G's been quietly very good the past couple weeks.
He has. Rams-Niners could get a little wild on Monday night, but Carr at home against KC, I'm rolling with that.
Yep. Seth M, half-point PPR. Where did it go? We're in so many questions, which is awesome.
Yeah, Seth, I love you guys. Thank you.
Where'd you go? With someone? Okay. Josh Jacobs or playoff Lenny? I got Jacobs right now, but what do you guys think? Ooh, so this is a tough one. Insightfully, I think Leonard Fournette's going to get the ball a lot. He had, I think it was 93 yards, maybe 40-something yards through the air, and 1 touchdown or 2 touchdowns last year against Washington in the playoffs. Josh Jacobs, though, I just got a feeling about tonight. I think he's going to have a really big game. I think Fournette is probably the safer play. I think Jacobs is a bit of a home run swing right now. One thing to know about Fournette, though, is with Giovanni Bernard back in the lineup, he's not going to catch as many passes because Bernard's going to get that work a lot of times on 3rd down. We saw his receiving role increase a lot for a couple weeks. Bernard was out those weeks. I think playoff Lenny is a safe play, but I personally, and this is for our guy Nick who's scoring all this stuff, I'm going to roll with Josh Jacobs because I think they're pretty similar, and I think Jacobs' upside is a lot bigger.
This is one where on the record I like Fournette more. on this because the football team's defense just sucks. And Tampa could be playing with the lead. And kind of similarly, Fournette's got Giovanni Bernard. Josh Jacobs has Kenyon Drake. I don't know. I personally like Fournette more. And that's rare, Shay. Usually we agree, but I just I disagree with you.
All right, Mincy, you take the last question.
All right, full PPR, Mike Williams or Jarvis Landry. I'm going Mike Williams. I don't trust anybody in this Cleveland passing game right now. And I know Landry might catch some balls, but Williams is such upside. I mean, Williams was WR1 the first 4 or 5 weeks of the year. So I'm rolling with him. I think that game could get a little wilder in Minnesota.
Awesome.
I
I like that pick too. Thank you guys for rocking with us another week. Sorry I have to cut out. I'm actually going to drive to the Hoboken house for the 1 o'clock stream, but appreciate you guys. Best of luck in all your bets today. Mincy, do you have a favorite play today?
I had a few. I like the under and the Saints Titans a good bit, just because I just think that's the only way that. And I like the Raiders. I really like the Raiders tonight.
Same.
They lost. I've been following this trend forever, Shay. When you lose as a road favorite and they lost as a favorite at the Giants, you come back as a home underdog. It's a bounce back spot. It's a gambling thing I've been following for 20 years, and it's made me a ton of money. And they're in a great situation on that Sunday night game.
There's another boost, Mincy, that you'll like a lot. In the odds boost section of the exclusives of the Barstool Sportsbook, Najee Harris and DeAndre Swift each to score a touchdown in Lions versus Steelers was plus 420, now plus 475. That's another boost.
I want to comment this, Shay. This is a rat line in Tennessee today. How is Tennessee only 2.5 against this?
I know, yeah.
No, I mean, it makes me kind of like the Saints. It's a straight, just rat line. I mean, Tennessee just beat the Rams, Bills, and Chiefs, and they're the number 1 seed in the AFC, and they're only laying 2.5 against the New Orleans. I don't know. It kind of makes me feel like New Orleans has a chance. Just seeing that line, it looks too weird.
It is very suspicious. Shout out to me last night. I saw Ben Roethlisberger COVID alert. Instantly went to the sports book and bet Lions money line and Lions -8. The Lions moved to -5.5 or plus 5.5 for the Lions. So that should be a fun game.
Hopefully today's the day.
To get the first win today, even before Big Ben's announcement.
Pulling for you. Well, thank y'all for another week of Dear Mr. Fantasy. Love all the questions, interaction. We really appreciate you guys. We'll be back up Tuesday morning with Fantasy Football Factory Pod.
Good luck today, everybody.